Y'all already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. First time I went to jail. Living life in the 90s. Young and wild. Man, I got a story for y'all today. Let's relive it. Now, for the longest time, I could not, for the life of me, think or recollect back to the first time I ever went to jail. I thought about it, and there were so many trips that I just could not remember the first time I went to jail. So I started thinking back to the 90s, and it came to me. Now me, I'm an 80s baby. Born February 5th, 1980. Grew up in the 90s when the world was a lot different from what a lot of y'all know to be the world y'all live in today. I'm talking when Pac busted on the scene, when Biggie came out, Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999. I'm talking Big L, Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega, all the Wu-Tang. Hip-hop music was at its finest. Gangster rap was killing it. East Coast versus West Coast. And I was so young and impressionable. I'm listening to this shit and I'm really believing everything I'm hearing. So the stuff they're rapping about is the stuff I'm running around doing. You couldn't tell me nothing at 15, 16 years old. I was young, wild, thugging, and out of control. For anybody, let me touch something real quick. Anybody that's got a comment or something to say on how I speak, if you don't like the way I talk, don't watch. I can't change the way I talk to appease you. I didn't grow up baling up hay, milking cows, riding on tractors. No offense to anybody that does that, but that's not the life I lived. I grew up a street life. I grew up in the city, so this is how I talk. So yeah, music played a big part in my life. Mad Lion, all that, Tech Nine, I'm bumping that stuff back then. And I'm really believing what I'm hearing, and I'm living like that. Our biggest thing aside from selling drugs was boosting stuff, stealing stuff. My dad died when I was 17. I'd been gone, left home. I falsified some paperwork. I get my first apartment. 17 years old, I got an apartment. We all know this is going to end bad. I tell y'all it always ends bad. This shit ends super bad. With me being a 17-year-old in an apartment, and I was working at this gas station / weed dealer, so you could pull up and get $20 in gas and quarter pound of weed if you want it. I take the weed, put it in the little public bathroom, lock the door. You come to the register, buy something in the store. I'd already talked to you on the phone. Give me the money for the weed. I give you the key to the bathroom. You go unlock the bathroom on the side of the building. Your weed will be sitting there in the bag. I'd just put it in there. You're on your way. So here we are, all these young dudes, and my apartment was filled up with young, wild, crazy dudes, man. My homeboy Joe Claudio was on the scene. Joe would go on to do 13 years in prison. He's up in Boston now. So our routine, man, it was something like out of a rap video. The refrigerator never had food in it. But with me working at this gas station at 17, I could fill boxes and boxes and boxes up with 40s, set them out back, take whole blunt displays. I'm talking the Garcia Vegas. We had a thing to dispense the blunts. It was like a little thing on a slope, and they just rolled out. I took the whole display. So we got that sitting on the living room table. For real, we had a blunt dispenser. You open our refrigerator, and it's something like out the Snoop Dogg Gin and Juice video. The whole fridge is just full of 40s. 15, 16, 17-year-olds and a refrigerator full of 40s is a bad, bad combination. But that's how we were living, man. Every night, and back in the 90s, car stereos was a big thing. They still are. But everybody was getting those Pioneer Super Tuner 3s, the Alpine decks, the Clarion decks. Rockford Fallskate was a big, thing back then. So like clockwork every night, man. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock rolls around. It's like 6, 7 of us. We leave the apartment, break off in groups of 2s, go hit these other apartment, complexes not far from us. We'd always walk on foot. And we would literally be out there from 1 o'clock in the morning until people got up and started going to work. What we were doing wasn't right, but these are just the facts. We'll go up on the car, check the door, shine a light in the window. It's got a system in it. Your door being locked was a bad idea because now you're going to get a broken window. We put the screwdriver in the window, push it, pop it, glass go everywhere, reach in, unlock the door, strip all the music out your car. Deck, pop the trunk, get the speakers, the amps. When we walked this stuff down, there was a trail, like a path through the woods that led from this major apartment complex to the apartments we lived in. All night long, we'd be back and forth to the front of the trail, dropping off speakers, boxes with 12-inch speakers in it, boxes with 15s, stacking up amps, stacking up decks. In the meantime of doing this, we're finding other stuff. 17 years old, we're going through, and this ain't the greatest, apartment complex. We're searching cars, we're finding pistols, money, drugs, jewelry, you name it. All the things that street dudes are leaving that car overnight, we coming across it. You would walk into my apartment and it looked like something straight out of a movie. Speakers stacked all the way up on one wall. More CD decks than we knew what to do with. More amps than we know what to do with. You come to us and get the whole setup for your car, $100, $150, and we're going to give you the old school Rockford Fallskate amp, the 12s and the deck. Might even have some of the, the wiring that runs the deck. You never know. On top of that, now all of our little asses is strapped up. Now we done found different guns. We got 380s, we got 9s, 32s, whatever these dudes are leaving in their car, we now got in our possession. I've told y'all it always ends bad. One of the dudes that's with us gets caught one night, goes out on his own, not with none of us, and he gets caught by the police. What we don't know is that the police got to deal with him. Tell him, you're going to let us know everything going on, where this stuff is going, who's got you doing this, where y'all stay at. You can let us know when y'all go out, what y'all take, where y'all took it from, and your charges are going to disappear. But you're going to have to testify against Jay once everything hits the fan. Mind you now, I don't know none of this. Find out later when we go to court. Dude agrees to it. By now, I've turned 18. We've been doing this 3-4 months, man. I meet my neighbor one day, and my neighbor's like, yo, what do y'all be doing over there? I'm like, what you mean? He's like, the music, man. He's got the pictures rattling off the wall. He's like, I hear y'all next door cocking guns. He's like, y'all got me so paranoid. I'm over here with my gun cocked. This is a grown man. He's like, I'm over here with my gun cocked, sitting on my couch, scared to go to sleep because I think a bullet's going to come to the wall. Like, nah, man. Ain't nobody going to shoot the guns off in the house and nothing. Like, you all right? So we keep doing what we're doing. Fast forward 3-4 months now, right? I'm dating this girl at this time. She's got this Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer. Remember the Eddie Bauer Ford Explorers? She's got this Eddie Bauer Ford Explorer. And I done put a system in it. I done took the deck out, put a deck in it. Got the amp mounted in the back. The truck is booming. That's how we were living, right? So we're out eating one night. I'm at Red Lobster. We just sat down, surfing turf, you know, getting it in, grubbing, and I got a page. Here's the crazy thing. Y'all want to see something? A lot of y'all don't know nothing about this. I got a page. Y'all see that? That's a pager. Actually found this at a job, so no, I ain't rocking a pager. But I thought it'd be cool to show y'all. So my beeper goes off, right? I'm like, the hell? Check the beeper. It's my mom. It says 911 behind the number, right? So I'm like, damn, why's my mom beeping me? I leave out the restaurant, go to the payphone outside, call my mom, and she's like, yo, something's going on at your crib. I said, what do you mean? She's like, I called the house phone. Somebody answered the phone and said that, you know, he had all your homeboys hemmed up and that you might want to come through there. Things are bad. Heart stops. I said, oh, shit. What is going on now, man? What we got ourselves into? I get on the payphone. I call the house. Some dude answers the phone. I say, yo, who is this? Put such and such on the phone. Nah, he ain't going to be able to come to the phone. I said, who is this? He was like, I'm the dude standing here with guns pointed on your homeboys right now. I said, what? He was like, yeah, bitch. I got guns pointed on every one of your homeboys and I'm in your spot. What you going to do about it? Oh, man. At this point, I'm thinking somebody we done jack, somebody we done robbed, found out where we live and it's done run up in the house. Like I told you, I'm out eating, all my homeboys in the crib. I'm like, damn. So I head to my mom's house. I don't got no pistol on me, but I got one stashed at my mom's house. So I tell the girl, I'm like, hey, take me to my mom's house so I can get the gun. I'm going to have you drop me off around the block. I'm going to creep up the back of the building, look in the window, see how many dudes it is. And I'm going up in there, I'm going to get my homeboys up out of there. It was young, I was crazy, you know. Not bragging, boasting. I'm just telling y'all the facts on what happened. I get to my mom's house and she had this van parked outside that I kept my gun hidden in. I go to the van and I'm getting my gun and my mom comes out the door and she's like, what are you doing? I said, I'm getting my gun. What's it look like I'm doing? She was like, I hope you're not thinking of doing what I think you're doing. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. She's like, I'm going to call over there again and see what I can find out. She calls over there. I've got the gun. I'm headed to the Explorer. She tells me, stop. I stop in my tracks. She turn around. I'm like, what, Mom? She's like, it's the police. I said, what? She's like, it is the police. The police have raided your crib. I called there. They're waiting on you to come back. It's not no jack. It's not, nobody's got your homeboys held down. It is the cops. The cops are the ones with the guns. The cops are in your house. They've got the place surrounded. They're waiting on you to come back. I get to thinking, first thing I think is, ah, man, my whole apartment is full of stolen shit. There's weed in the apartment. There's guns. Like, man, I'm hit. So before we leave, I go ahead and I rip the deck out the girl's truck. I rip the speakers and stuff out the back of the truck. Rip the amp out. Just leave the wires laying. I tell her, shit, take me to the crib. We pull up. And when we pull up, as soon as we pull up, they run up on the truck with the guns. Get out the truck, get out the truck, get out the truck. I get out, put my hands up. They got all my homeboys sitting outside on the curb in handcuffs. They're all juveniles, 16, 17. They handcuff me, walk me over to my front door and they ask me, what do you know about all this stuff? Now, even as a youngin', I was stupid, but I wasn't dumb. I made sure that anything we boosted, anything that came into my house, anything of that nature, that we peeled the serial numbers off of and disposed of. So none of this stuff could be tracked. Back then, it just had a label on it. It wasn't engraved. It's just a little sticker with the serial number. Nothing in that house had a serial number on it. Nothing. I double-checked, triple-checked, made sure nothing had a serial number. So they bring me up to the door, and they are in there, and they have just flip my apartment upside down. I'm watching them. Furniture's flipped over. They've already filled one van up with all the stolen audio equipment. They got a second paddy wagon pulling up, like police van, that they're filling up with more stolen stuff. I walk up, there's 2 guns laying on the hood of the car. There's a bag of weed laying on the hood of the car. And everybody's in handcuffs. The apartment's in my name. Ain't no point in everybody going to jail. I tell them, y'all can let all them out the handcuffs. All that shit's mine. Oh, you're stupid. You're going to do 25 years behind your friends. You got to be dumb. You can't be that dumb. Don't do this. I said, I'm telling y'all, all the stuff is mine. I bought it all from somebody. It's a dude that comes around here and sells audio equipment. So I don't see what the big deal is. What about the guns? Okay, they're mine too. Nah, you can't claim the guns. Can't claim the guns. 2 of your homeboys was coming to the crib, saw us, ran and stashed the guns in the ditch. And we recovered the 2 guns, a couple 100 feet from here. We know who had the guns. So I said, at this point, I'm not saying no more. I just say, lawyer, whose weed is this? I said, I done told y'all everything was mine. I ain't got nothing else to say. They take us all away. Meanwhile, my homeboy Joe Claudio, he's in an apartment, 2 apartments over. When they started raiding the crib, he took off and ran in this apartment. They know he's in there. He's done barricaded himself in the house. He's done flipped the fridge over and put it, and there's only one way in, one way out in these apartments. He's done flipped the fridge over, and he's a big Puerto Rican dude. Flipped the fridge over and blocked the front door of the apartment. Took the couch, put the couch on top of the fridge. He got the blinds. He threw the cat in the blinds, trying to make them think it's just a cat in there, like they didn't see him run in there, right? Because they told him, we see you looking out the blinds, come out. He picks the cat up, puts the cat in the blinds, like it's the cat messing with the window. They mess with him for a while, man. Eventually, he comes on out. Dude was larger than life. He was hype. He'd been in detention center so many times. He just got out. He was on the run. So now they got us all in handcuffs. They get us all down to the police station. And they got me out there in the hallway. And there's a staircase that goes up. And they got my arm stretched way up in the air. And my arm is handcuffed to the rail. Like my arm, the cuff is hurting so bad because they got my jaw just stretched all the way out and handcuffed to this rail, right? They get me in there and they start questioning me. And I said, look, I already told y'all what I got to say. I buy all the stuff from a dude that comes through and I resell it. Anything y'all found in there belongs to me. Y'all can go ahead and let all my homeboys out of handcuffs, right? Nah, we're not believing that. That's not the truth. We know the truth. I said, well, that's why I said I just need a lawyer. Like, if y'all know the truth, ain't nothing for us to talk about, man. Y'all can talk to my lawyer. They take all my homeboys and them to the detention center. Take me upstairs. Well, actually, I was across from the police station at the interrogation. It's a separate building. They put me in a cop car, take me across the street, take me to the jail, bring me in, fingerprint me, mug shot me, take my street clothes off, give me a jumpsuit, zip my jumpsuit up. In the general population I go, right? I go to court a couple days later for my arraignment to see what they have evidence on, what charges are going to stick, what's going to go to trial. All the charges stick, right? It's time to go to trial. Been a couple months I've been in jail now. We go in front of the judge, and this is when I find out that one of my homeboys there, a dude named Johnny, was actually testifying against me. Johnny had actually been lying to me and telling me he was going to see this girl every day, every other day. And he was walking up the street and meeting with the police at the park and letting them know everything we had done. But the thing is, Johnny wasn't going with me. My homeboy Claudio was going with me. So Johnny just knew what we were bringing back, but he couldn't give them details on what cars we hit, what apartment complex we were in, what street we were in. He could just tell them, hey, last night he stole this, he stole this, he stole this, they stole this, right? So we're sitting there and the judge is doing his thing, questioning, Johnny and whatnot. And they asked Johnny, have you ever stolen anything? And Johnny says, yeah. And they ask him, have you been promised anything for your testimony? And that's when he says, yeah. Like, I got caught stealing and they promised me that if I was to testify against Jay, that they would make all my charges go away. The judge is like, did you ever steal stuff with Jay? And Johnny was like, nah, but I knew what he was doing because we all went out doing the same thing. He's like, that's not what I asked you. I asked you, were you personally with him when any of the stuff in that apartment was stolen? No. So did you actually see him steal anything that was in that apartment? No. The weed that was in the apartment, was that Jay's weed? Yeah, it was Jay's weed. How do you know it was Jay's weed? We found it under a dresser in the bedroom. How do you know it was Jay's weed? My lawyer asked him, did other people in the apartment smoke weed? Yeah, everybody smoked weed. We all smoked weed. Did you smoke weed? Yeah, I smoked weed. I smoked weed. Was Jay home at the time that the apartment was raided? No, he wasn't home. How long had he not been home? Most of the day. He left that morning. So the time he left, how many people were in and out the apartment? I don't know, 10, 15. So you're going to say that this weed belongs to him, but there's been 15 people in his apartment since the last time he came in the apartment. Prosecutor says, Mr. Williams admitted that everything belonged to him. And my lawyer told him, Mr. Williams did that because he didn't want to see any of his friends go to jail. He figured it's his apartment. He's already going to jail. Might as well lie and fess up to everything. This is when shit gets crazy, right? They can't prove that anything was actually stolen. There's not a serial number on anything. So for people that got stolen from or robbed, that have receipts for their stuff, it's the same model, but it ain't got your serial number on it. Therefore, you can't prove it's yours. I end up beating all the charges, man. All the charges except, I think, a little simple possession of weed charge. And I had that on me. That was in like my watch pocket. It was like maybe 1.5 grams, 2 grams. So I got hit with the little weed charge. Beat all the other charges. And the craziest thing, y'all ain't ready for this. They had to give me back all the stuff they took out of my apartment. All the audio equipment, they had to give me back. The speakers, the amps, the decks. My lawyer told him Mr. Williams would like his property returned back to him, since you can't prove that it's stolen. You can't produce anybody to say it belongs to them. Because like I said, Johnny wasn't with me. So Johnny didn't know what cars they came from, what apartment complex. Crazy, crazy things. Just like that, I was taken back to the jail. I changed out of my jumpsuit, back into my clothes, and was back out the door. This is what being young, stupid, and dumb does to people. It's crazy. I remember that. And that was my first trip to jail. It was my apartment being raided. Weed being discovered. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars of audio equipment being discovered and then returned to me. 2 guns being found, but not found on me. From there, it was just a downward spiral. Gotta love the 90s. Nothing beats the 90s. Nothing tops the 90s. But I hope y'all enjoyed today's story. First time I went to jail. First time I was in a raid. But like I've told you, these detention centers, these prisons, these institutions, these facilities, they're all just crazier worlds inside of this already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, y'all know how we do. Salute.